In this video, we are going to discuss about operating system. Let's first see this image here. As you can see, at the center is the hardware parts of the computer. Over that, we have the system software, and at the topmost is the application software. So actually the computer is organized in form of a layer. The innermost layer is the hardware devices which cannot function without our instructions. Those instructions are given using the application software, but the system software is needed in between so that it can act as an interface between the hardware devices and the application software. Operating system is the lifeline of the computer because it cannot function without the operating system. As we have discussed in our previous video also, operating system is always the first software that is loaded into the computer memory when it is switched off. Why it is needed? See, keeps all hardware parts in state of readiness. So if I want to use a printer, the operating system will have the printer in a state of readiness. It is not that when I give a print instruction, after that the printer will be started and it will be ready to accept my instructions. It coordinates between different devices. I as a user will access only the control unit. The control unit where the operating system is will coordinate with other devices, other output devices or the memory units, and vice versa. When those units need to interact with me, give me an output, give me an error message, they will do so through the control unit or the operating system. It schedules multiple tasks as per priority. Now, at any given point of time, computer is doing multiple tasks. Let me give you a small example which you might have been doing yourself. Suppose you are reading your project report on the system. Simultaneously, you have opened your email box and then suddenly you see your chat messenger popping up. So you might be doing them one by one because when you are reading your project report, you will not be chatting. But the computer has to handle all these simultaneously. It's the operating system that decides the scheduling of all these tasks. It allocates resources to each task. Each task would need some resources, some window space, some disk space, some printer space. OS is what decides all this. It enables the computer to access the network. When you want to attach your computer to the internet or a local network, then OS is what that does it. It enables user to access and use the application software. OS is the interface. These are some of the important functions as we discussed just now. Just a recap because they are very important. Managing computer resources, allocating the resources, preventing error during software use, control improper use of computer. Some virus is attacking and it is using all the space, so the OS will tell you that yes, you have a virus, so you should need to do something about it. One of the earliest operating systems was MS-DOS. It was introduced by Microsoft for IBM PC. IBM was the first company to introduce a PC and Microsoft had the first OS which was MS-DOS. It was a command line interface. I'm sure most of you have used the computers where you can see icons, you can click and the software that you want to open will open. But MS-DOS did not have any icon, you just had to type the commands and then that software will open. Microsoft developed graphical user interface GUI based OS called Windows when users started complaining that DOS was difficult to use because they had to remember all the commands. So Microsoft Windows was the first GUI based operating system developed. In this video, we have learned about the operating system and how it helps us to access the computer resources. In the next video, we are going to discuss about another system software called Assembler.